All right. So. Okay, I hope Anna Ketchum, I hope you're on there. And I'll move this camera around as we need to. I'm going to check out the books to you guys, and Anna, I'll check out one to you too, and I'll, but I need someone to do a favor for me. Lucy, will you take this book to the middle school office? And it's for, and I hope they haven't already come by, but it's for, that's not it. It's for Spencer Meadows.
Okay.
You know Spencer?
No.
Okay, take that to him. Or to the office then. Okay, so I'll just call you up here as in the order that you are. There we go. This is not like me, by the way. I don't know why I'm running so far ahead of schedule. This is really uncharacteristic. So I don't know what's. It's kind of freaking me out. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable with this. Okay, so I really don't like it. All right, Catherine. And if you'll grab, actually, if you'll kind of make 2 stacks of those green and brown books there, kind of make, a second stack just for the brown books out on its own. And if you'll take the top one of each of those and tell me what number you have for the green book first.
23.
And the other one?
30.
30.
And
Okay.
also, I go by Cece.
I'm sorry, I
No,
knew that.
no, you're totally
No,
fine.
I knew that. Now tell me who your parents are, because I know.
Rick and Dee Dee Siegfried.
Okay.
My dad went to school here
Yeah.
forever ago.
Yeah, long years before my time.
Yeah.
But I taught Bailey, and I taught Carol, and I taught Reagan.
Yeah.
And so I knew, at the time, Reagan's dad and Bailey's dad I knew.
Okay.
But they all took German though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It seems like forever ago.
Yeah.
It was forever ago. Now they're all grown up with their own kids. Okay, Chloe, if you'll take one of each in the brown book too, and then tell me what number is the green book on the spine.
24.
24, and the other one?
32.
32. Gotcha.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did they say anything?
What?
Have they already come by?
No, they have
I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you because of my mask. No, hey, Lizzie, I really feel like I can't hear as well with a mask on. And I feel like I can't see as well. Like I'm missing things like down here, like around me. It's so weird. Like
It's not good. I can't hear you either.
Okay, and Eli. You take one of each, the green one and the brown book right there, and tell me the number on the green book, please. 26. And the other one? 3?
34.
Let me see it. Sorry. 34. Okay. Gotcha, thank you. Okay, and Hank? Will you grab the green one? Tell me the number on the green one first.
29.
And the other one?
36.
36. Okay, thank you. Hank, what school did you go to before you came to Kasha?
Lonnie.
Okay. And Lucy, we'll run out of books here. Uh-oh. Pick one of the two there. Let's see. And what's the number on the green book?
Oh, wait, which one?
On the green one?
30,
Okay.
37.
37.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Lucy, I was telling the class we were gone. It's 8:15, so class is like officially beginning right now. This is totally, you tell it, totally uncharacteristic of me to be like this far into things as class is just now really beginning.
We'd be like sitting here till like 8.
Yeah, we got things to talk about. I mean, like what'd you do last summer in spring break?
Girl Scout.
Of course. I mean, there's things to talk about. You know, I had a professor from OSU call me about that, and we talked for 2 hours the other night.
Oh, really?
And then I had a reporter from Los Angeles call me 2 nights ago about it. Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, he just said the Girl Scout murders.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what that's about.
My next door neighbor was the mom. Yeah, Lauren. Yeah.
You next door to the farmers?
Yeah, well, I mean, I moved since then, but.
Yeah. I've met, she's a really nice people.
I saw her the other day.
Oh, that's your mom's friends with.
Yeah.
Your mom
My
is
grandma.
grandma.
Like, really good friends with her.
Yeah.
My mom's friend with the sister.
And then her dad was, I think he retired, at least from that job, but he was the head of the ER at St. John's for like, I don't know, 30 plus years. He was for a long time.
Maybe one day you'll have to show Aiden the whole presentation.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what that's about.
Check out my website, girlscoutmurders.com.
Yeah.
It's a 3-day dilemma.
We'll have to cover it after an exam or something. All right, and Jed. And where's Aiden?
I'm right here.
Not only am I going to cheat you on the Girl Scout murders, but I'm going to cheat you on a book. I need 2 more books. A set for you and a set for Anna. So Anna, sorry. Well, I don't know if they'll give them to you or not. How about Monday, or whenever I see you again? There's not going to be an assignment out of it for a little bit, so you're fine. Okay. Okay, so grab that last green and brown book there and tell me what's the number on the green book.
31.
Okay, and the other book?
38.
38. All right, thank you. Jedediah Wagner. Okay. And Anna, I'll have a book for you by Monday. If you're going to come by and pick up books, I'll have it probably later today, but for sure by Monday. I don't know how long it'll take her to go to the storeroom and find another copy of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put you down, but I'll put a book number on here once I get it. So our book numbers, plural. Okay. If you hear me over here talking to myself, I'm talking to Anna. So, or I could be talking to myself. Yeah, she's on a live stream thing here. You see me right there.
Hi, Anna.
Say hi, everyone. Okay, so that's done now, and I'm gonna try to stretch this camera if I can, or as much as I can. Okay, so I'm not gonna give you the. This is weird. Can you see on the screen there? I'll get used to all this. It's like being a weatherman pointing to the screen. Everything's backwards. I'm not going to give you the IDs like I gave the other half of the class because apparently these don't work. And they're going to have to reprint IDs.
Wait, what are they? They're like your pictures?
No, the student IDs for this year.
We don't have pictures?
Well, that might be part of the problem. I don't know. But these don't have pictures on them now. So, yeah, how are you going to get that discount at the movie theater? Oh, the theaters are closed. All right. Okay. So, sorry, I didn't mean to be such a. All right, let's try this now. Bear with me, Anna. I have to look over at the side. Oh, yeah, that might work. Okay, I hope she can hear me.
Why isn't she on Zoom?
I'm doing something different. I'm not sure if she's logged in yet, actually. Anyway, this thing though, this program, after it live streams, it's automatically, like right away, it's uploaded to YouTube. So you guys can even go back and look, like if you want to hear something again or before the test or something like that, or if you miss a day or if you're going to be sick or whatever, looks like I'll be doing this on your day for her, so as long as she needs to. So you can always log in at 8:15, or today you would have to log in earlier because I'm like mentally ill today or something, but 8:15 normally. And then, or you can watch it later on your own time on YouTube. So you just have to go to the, I guess I should better probably post a link about that, how to get to it. The other thing is that since we're only meeting 2 days a week face-to-face, 1 day a week, all of us online, I'm going to try to alternate this every other week, starting next week. On the A day, one time, I'll record one of the lectures like this, so that'll give us a 4th day. So you can, sometimes on the B day, you guys will be the ones here, so you won't have to watch it. But on every other week, you'll have to watch an extra hour or extra time for what I said to the other class. And I'll move forward. I'm not going to like reteach that again, so you'll have to watch it. So it gives us a 4th, so you can watch it on one of your off days, you know. Okay.
Will it be like a video?
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube.
No.
Yeah. You're gonna be really impressed with what I've done here.
Wow.
Yeah. I've got like a whole Greek thing. Can you not see that? No, you can't really see it.
A little too light.
Yeah. Okay. I'll show it to you. It's cool, trust me. And I'm trying to put a background in, like with the Greek columns and stuff in the background, but that's not cooperating. So, oh well. Anyway, but on Wednesdays we'll do a Zoom thing. That's when everybody can be there. And this one thing here, you can only like, if you type a comment it's actually live streaming on YouTube, and if you type in a comment in the comment section, it shows up on my screen as like a instant message kind of. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, a lot of people think I'm, too old for all this, but the truth is I'm totally confused and I'm way in over my head. So, all right. Okay, well, I'm going to assume that no one in this class has ever had a philosophy class before. Anybody want to tell me differently? Okay, I mean, if you have, I'm glad that we offer this class because there's really no college major that I know of where you won't have to take philosophy. If you're going to major in music or business or engineering or foreign languages or some kind of science, biology, let's say, it's just kind of like one of those core requirements that, like, it take Comp 1 and Comp 2, English 1, English 2. You got to take some kind of lab science. You've got to take a couple of social sciences, maybe history and philosophy. And so there's not many degree plans that don't include it. And so it kind of gives you a little bit of a leg up. I guess you'll know a little bit more than the rest of the class, because not very many high schools offer philosophy at this level. So you get a little bit, at least 1/4's worth. And the advantage is this, that I have students come back and say, hey, I took philosophy like the first semester or second semester of college, and the teacher said exactly the same things that you said. And I usually reply by saying, well, that's good, because everybody that I talked about is dead already. And if they change what they said, that means they've risen from the dead somehow and amended their comments. So, yeah. No, but honestly, though, I'm happy that as a college preparatory school, we are preparing you for that kind of thing, and you'll be a step ahead, I hope. So you'll see all this again. You'll see part of it again. And you may even see this textbook that does the center hold. You may see that again in college. It's actually, there's 2 books this author has written, and both of them are very popular college textbooks for philosophy 101 or whatever they call it at your college. Not for, if you're majoring in philosophy, they give you something different, but just for the general public that's taking a philosophy class, yeah, that's a popular book. Donald Palmer, the author, he's written a few books, but 2 of them are pretty popular for textbooks. Does anyone know who the actor or comedian Steve Martin is? Steve Martin.
Heard the name.
You know, this happened yesterday too, and it just hurts my heart so much. You know, we do a good job teaching you guys math and science and all, but we really fail you in the area of pop culture. There should be a whole class on this, and I should teach it. You know, sarcasm doesn't work that well with masks, because I can't give away anything. Like, you can't tell that I'm smiling, or that's gonna be hard to give up, because I kind of use a lot of sarcasm. In fact, I speak more sarcasm than German, let's say. I'm more fluent in that than I am in German. Maybe more fluent than in English. Steve Martin was a writer for comedy shows, even dating back to the late 60s, early 70s. And then he became a stand-up comedian in the 70s and was really the first kind of, well, not the first, but to really make hit, like, you know, platinum record, gold record, you know, sales of a comedy album. There were other people who made a lot of money doing that before him, but and then he did stand up on until the, I don't know, until the 80s, early 80s, and then he started doing more films and acting and all that. And I haven't seen him in a while, but anyway, he has a degree in philosophy from the University of Colorado at Boulder, and in one of his comedy albums I used to have, he asked the audience, how many of you took philosophy in college? And of course you can't tell what's going on, but apparently the audience is like, see, yeah. That's what everyone's doing. It's kind of like, what? And he says, see, this is what happens. This is what happens, your response. Everyone takes just enough philosophy in college to screw them up for the rest of their life. Make them question everything, yeah? They're like, well, I mean, existentially speaking, I suppose that I could make the assumption that at least my senses were there. I mean, you know, my memory tells me that I was there, but that's very different than actually being, to say I was there. I am yeah, this is the kind of questions that go through your head maybe after you take a college philosophy class. So his point's well taken, you know. That, yeah, part of it is a little bit of, there are more questions than answers. And so people ask a kind of straightforward question like I asked you first. Have you ever taken that philosophy class before? You guys, nope. Yeah. People have taken it, they're like, well, maybe. I mean, was I there? And what do I mean by the verb is, you know, and am? And, okay. So in this class, we'll talk about some of those things, especially the existential part of things. But let me ask you a couple of questions, though. Just kind of general questions, like what image comes to mind when you think of philosophy? So it's like a word association. So I say philosophy, and you think of what image? Not a word, but
Like a marble statue.
marble statue, marble columns, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, statues, okay, very good. What else? So Greco-Roman kind of.
Yeah, not really a lot of.
No, well,
Well,
it's
chalkboard.
a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. What else? Yeah, like a college classroom, maybe, or that kind of thing. Yeah. What else? I say philosophy. You think? I got started early, so I got all the time in the world. I'm just gonna.
Socrates.
Socrates. Okay. So beards, togas, right? Okay, the whole. Right. Yeah. Do you think of women very often?
No.
Not really.
No, philosophy has not been kind to women, or not of that kind, but it's been kind to allowing women to, until recently, until, you know, the 20th century, really, and 21st century. But it's, you know, it's like I was saying about all the philosophers we talk about are going to be dead. You pretty much have to die to be a philosopher, but you got to be gone for a while, and you have to have written quite a bit for most philosophers, and to really make an impact later that people kind of recognize. But not many people think about it. Like, does anyone ever say, have you ever met anybody who said, yeah, I'm Joe Smith, I'm a philosopher? Yeah. Now, they might be a professor of philosophy, maybe they might be a whatever, but not many people like claim that title when they're alive. Like, I'm a salesman, you know, I'm a teacher. They don't say, I'm a philosopher. Okay, not too often. I haven't met anybody that says that, really. What other images? I say philosophy, philosopher.
Old people.
Old people, yeah. Again, gray hair seems to be important here. Beards, gray beards. Right. So we're probably not talking about women so much. Again, good. Anyone else? I have a couple. If you don't mind, if I share with you. I gotta have a signal I give you guys when I'm being sarcastic. I'll make sarcasm number one. So I'll use it the most. I have some ideas that I might share with you. I think of all the things you guys mentioned. Lucy, I think not so much about a chalkboard, but like maybe a classroom of students, you know, and someone's maybe writing and all that. I also think it's a little more modern, maybe, but I think about someone sitting like in a cafe in Europe somewhere with a notepad. But for some reason, the notepad has to have the spirals like on top. I don't know why that's important, but this picture, like the pages like flip over this way. Does that make sense? Yeah. And they're probably dressed in black. They may be wearing a beret, I don't know. And probably if they're a guy that's smoking a pipe, maybe, you know. That seems to be, in my mind, as kind of a post-World War II kind of idea of a philosopher, yeah. Another class last year someone said, I think of kind of hippie-looking people, you know, like maybe they're in a VW van and they kind of are vagabonds and they travel around and they kind of live this free life, just, you know, day to day, and like, well, okay, maybe. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've told other class. I never had anyone take me up on it, but I've told people this for a year. I think that not too early to talk about this, but a good senior thesis paper would be kind of linked together like post World War II Europe and all, destruction and, loss of life and all that. And then kind of out of that hopelessness came existentialism. So we'll talk about that this quarter. And then that certainly translated to the United States as well. But for young people, it resonated more in this beat generation, the beatniks. Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyone? Just nod your head if you. I'm not holding up the number one finger. Okay, yeah. Okay, the beatniks, and then how the beatniks gave way to the hippies, that was kind of the next. And it's kind of making these connections, kind of intellectual connections between how the war ended and how that spread from those thoughts spread from Europe to the United States, and then how it influenced art and writing and culture and Jack Kerouac and all these beatnik poets, and then how it eventually made its way over to the United States and all the way to the hippies. I don't know, maybe go further than that. I don't know, but yeah, it's an idea for something unique. If I saw it, I'd give it 100% probably right away. Probably just right away. Okay, so those are some ideas, but I know that you don't have a whole lot to go off of with philosophy. How about if I ask you, what is a philosophical? Give me an example of a philosophical question. So let me tell you what a non-philosophical question would sound like. Can I sit here in that seat with the sign on it that says "Don't sit here" in German? Would that be no? That's not really philosophical. What colors are the German flag? Yeah. That's not philosophical. That's just about, what year did we sign the Declaration of Independence? There might be philosophy. There's definitely philosophy in the Declaration of Independence. There might be a philosophy behind not letting you sit there. There may be thinking and philosophy behind the choice of colors in a flag. Some thinking behind it, some symbolism. Okay, maybe. But just ask me what the colors are of the flag. That's just black, red, gold. That's all it is. Okay. So, but what's a philosophical question? If those are non-philosophical.
Like, what are your thoughts on Corona? Like, are you doing too much?
Okay. Okay. Good. That's a good contemporary question. What else? Yeah. That. What are your thoughts on? That's a good lead-in to, I would say, for a lot of. Yeah. Some you've heard before. Some you go, well, that's not really an objective question, really. I mean, maybe there's an answer, but we may not agree on it. What's another example? Philosophical question. They're typically non-objective questions, right? I mean, questions that you could debate somebody about. So that open opening, what's an example?
Does the center hold?
Does the center hold? Right. That might need a little more meat on it to understand what that means, but yeah, that's a question. That is. In the right context, it is. What else? There's one kind of like one that I don't know, it's almost stereotypical kind of philosophical question. Anyone know?
What's the meaning of life?
What's the meaning of life? Yep. Right. And it's almost kind of a caricature of itself, it's a movie title also, but it's still really a pretty important question though. I don't know about what's the meaning of life like in general, but maybe I'd like to know at least what's the meaning of my life. Yeah, make it really specific. I can't be thinking about everybody, but I can maybe figure it out for myself, for my own life at least, right? Whether life has the same meaning for everybody, I don't know, but for myself, maybe it has a certain meaning. Anything else? Philosophical questions. There's other ones related to yours, like, does life have meaning? Or, yeah, is life meaningless? Yeah, that would be one, right? I was joking about one earlier, Steve Martin, like, are we really here? Yeah. Was I really there? Right? Did I dream that? Was I watching a movie on the back of my eyelids? Did my senses just fool me that I was there? Are we in the matrix of some sort? I'm not unplugged yet. Red pill, blue pill, right? Is that too vague? You guys got that? Matrix? Seen the movie? Yeah. I guess they're making a sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, too. Another Keanu Reeves classic. Yeah. The sequel is actually part 3. What else? Yeah? Philosophical questions. Yeah. You're thinking, why is he asking us the questions before he's taught us anything? Yeah? Give your hand up. Some other questions would be things like these very simple questions like, what is something, you know? Like, what is life? What is virtue? What is truth? What is courage? And so these kind of virtues can be debated. Life is something a little bit different, but people have different opinions. Maybe situational. Maybe it depends on courage. Maybe it depends on, you know, how successful you are, right? If you depends, right? If the coach has a chance in the final seconds of the game to go for 2 for the win and 1 for the tie, going to overtime, and he goes for 2 points and he gets it, it was a courageous move, yeah? If he doesn't get it, the president of the university wants to talk to him the next day, yeah? They're going to bring in a new staff. Thank you very much for your service. Right. You should have gone for the tie, taken overtime. I don't know. So maybe a little bit depends on what's going on. Truth, well, truth might be something, again, that we have courtrooms that daily debate, you know, what really happened, you know, and this is this guy's story and this is their story, and, well, where the truth is, there has to be a judge to figure it out. And even their judgments are fallible. Even they're having to take into account evidence and all that, and what might be dubious and what's not. Virtue really kind of encompasses all these things. What does it mean to live virtuously? What does it mean to, you know, to live an honorable life of some sort with virtue? But a lot of these what is questions along with what's the meaning of life. But this question about meaning of life, though, is one that Plato. Have you heard of Plato? Not the stuff in the jar, you gotta keep the lid on it, but the philosopher Plato. Not Play-Doh. Okay. Plato said that this is a stubborn question. You know, that means like maybe you have somebody who wants you to do something and they just keep coming back again and again and again asking you, come on, let's go to this, let's go to this. They're just stubborn about it. This question, it kind of is a personification of a question, becomes stubborn because it keeps representing itself to you. So you may think you figured it out, and then maybe you figure out that you haven't, and then the question comes up again. Or maybe you think you figured it out and you still think it, but the question you got to reevaluate a little bit. Or maybe you haven't figured it out and you decide, hey, I'm just not going to bother with that. It doesn't go away though, like a stubborn person. It just keeps coming back and representing itself maybe in different ways, but it's really the same question. So even if you decide you just hate people and you're a total misanthrope and you want to live away from everybody else, so you go to a cabin you built deep in the woods somewhere and you just live there by yourself. Well, maybe you found your meaning by doing that. Like you didn't escape the question by moving away. You're still subject to the question because, and you may reevaluate. You may decide to come back to society again. You may decide to stay there. You may decide to make a small community of people. You need a little bit of interaction with people. I don't know. But although those people have left society, become hermits, they still have pondered this question and still continue to ponder it, even though they're away from normal society. When we answer this question, what's the meaning of life? There's kind of three approaches, I guess, to it. Yeah, I'll call it approaches. One would be, I'm going to resituate this camera here. Pretty wide angle lens, look at that. Can you see me up there? We're sitting where it is. All right. One is the theistic approach. And we're asking the question or answering the question, what's the meaning of life? The theistic approach says that the only way that your life can have meaning is through a faith in God, or the gods for the Greeks or the other religions. You can only have a faith, only have meaning with God and based in that faith. That's where you're going to find meaning. The other one would be the opposite, the non-theistic approach that would say that you can find meaning in life without there being a God. You can find it yourself. So maybe you find meaning in academics, or you find meaning in making money, or you find meaning raising your children and being with family, or you find meaning through art or photography or traveling or whatever it is. You find meaning, and that's your and you found it on your own. Yeah, it wasn't a religious experience and like that. You discovered on your own that you're a good artist, and it gives you a lot of happiness, and so you're going to continue to engage in it. And in your mind, God had nothing to do with it at all. So that's one approach. The other one's sounds kind of weird, but I think it's not that uncommon. It's called, this could apply to, and all these could apply to various philosophical questions as well. Approaching it theistically, non-theistically, or this way, what's called the whole question approach. And it says that any question that doesn't have a significant answer to it is a question not worth wasting your time on. So you just kind of toss out the whole question. So this question about what's the meaning of life, well, people have been asking that for an awful long time. If there was an answer, they probably would have, let you know about it in the news or something. So, but they're not. So don't worry about it. Just live your life and move on, right? Plato again would say, well, that's easier said than done, because this question is going to come back up again because it's very stubborn. And I guess they would say to that, well, just let it go and just live your life. Whole question is not theistic or non-theistic. It's not an atheistic approach or a theistic approach. It's just one that says these questions that don't have a definite answer to them are really not worth wasting your time on. So throw out the whole question. But even if you throw it out, it's going to make its way back again. Yeah? So for some reason, it seems to be important. But the whole question approach is one that seems kind of a little bit ludicrous, but it's actually one I think that a lot of people take. They just take the whole thing and say it's not worth pondering that way. Good. Okay. Now, as to what philosophy is exactly, like someone could, what is biology? Can you tell me about this in a few words? Study of life, right? And what about chemistry? Study of what?
I don't know, chemicals?
Chemicals, okay, and yeah, of the elements, right? Is there like a simple definition of chemistry? Like a few words, like study of life, right? Yeah. Study of mathematics, is there a simple way to describe that? Sorry?
Math class.
Math class. Numbers. But I see an awful lot of letters in you guys' textbooks too. I don't know what's going on with that. Is that like code, like Z is 26 and A is 1? That's how I treated it when I was in high school. I enjoyed that math class all 3 times too. Teacher just got tired of me and just passing me the DD on. Yeah, so there's some fields of study that we could narrow down very quickly to a few words or a few ideas, or fields of study within that, we'll say within chemistry. There's different chemicals involved, there are gases involved, there are solids involved, right? And so there's different elements elements are involved, of course. Philosophy is a little bit more difficult to pin down, but I'll give you some ideas of what other people have said, of what they think philosophy is. Let's start with Aristotle. Have you heard of him before? He's a big one. Aristotle, fingers up. You heard of him? He's a pretty big hitter in the whole game, yeah? Aristotle said that philosophy is the art of wondering. Wondering. I wonder. There's an art form to this, I guess. Tell your parents when you come back from college next year you're going to get a Bachelor of Arts in wondering. They'll like that. Pay all that money. You sit around and wonder. They're going to say, well, I wonder if you're going to go back to college after this weekend. I wonder if we're going to send that check in this week. Pay your tuition. I wonder. And you probably major in business or something. The art of wondering. Plato says that philosophy is the attempt to think things through clearly. Yeah? Get all the static out of the way, all the misinformation, get down to the basic facts and kind of think things through as clearly as you can. Come to a conclusion based on the facts. Yeah? Attempt to think things through clearly. Well, that's the way that I'm describing this would be totally true, but even on things that would be more philosophical. Socrates, or as I like to call him, Socrates and Plato. Socrates says that philosophy is the quest for a worthwhile life. You don't want to get to the end of your life and find out your life was not worthwhile or worth anything. You didn't contribute anything. You didn't do anything important. It's a quest for a worthwhile life. So you have to be kind of clear in the head about what your virtues are and what your values are, and you act upon those, and from that comes a virtuous life, which would be a worthwhile life. Yeah, so that's a pretty big, broad thing. Wondering, thinking clearly, quest for a worthwhile life. Those are just a few. I don't know if you know this or not, but Socrates had a group of, we'll talk about them, had a group of, he wouldn't have called them students, but they were disciples, I guess, almost. He uses that word one time. Mainly younger men who were from wealthy families in Athens. And they followed him around. They listened to him. He was kind of a teacher to them. But Socrates had one student in particular that becomes a philosopher on his own. Do you know who that is? Plato. Socrates has Plato as a student. There's a spoiler alert on the cover of the brown book you got from me. I don't know why they titled the book the way they did. Totally, the cover, the wording, it all gives away the ending. Why do they do that? They should at least have like a warning, spoiler alert. Don't read the title of this book until you know. Plato, after Socrates dies, after he dies, Plato then starts his own school of philosophy, and he has a student in his school named Aristotle. What? This is like an intellectual wrestling tag team match here. What? All right, I'm getting ready to die. Okay, Plato, you're in. Plato, tag Aristotle. Aristotle, what are the chances of this in history? Aristotle has a student, and his name was Alexander the Great. Wow. Now that's some real historical coincidence, it seems. Socrates and Plato. So Plato would have known these two. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Alexander the Great. Yeah. Wow. That's what makes up this illustrious tag team. Now, Alexander the Great, although well-educated, isn't really known as being a philosopher, but certainly is important in world history. But they all worked together in some way, and brought us to where we are today. I'll give you some other definitions of, not from necessarily from famous people, but from other perspectives. But one of the things that you'll see is that philosophy, and this is why it's a part of these different degree programs, that philosophy kind of fills the gaps in between the different fields of academic fields of study, that it links them together, that philosophy has something to do with mathematics, with science, history, political science, social sciences, that philosophy is there. It kind of seeps into the gaps and the cracks of the other fields of science or fields of study, and it's an important part of that. And of course, it's also into theology as well. That's why this is offered. And I think if you went to a Christian school or a Catholic school, you'd probably find that they offer philosophy to their theology department. That's kind of normal. We're not going to necessarily focus on Catholic philosophers, but not going to avoid them either, but it's not really the main focus here. Okay, what time is it? 8:55. Again, Lucy, what is wrong with me? First day of class.
On top of it.
Nah, don't worry, it'll wear off. It'll wear off as the year goes on. Okay, so yeah, I think we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it was 19 in the class total. I think there was 11 for yesterday. So, including Anna, who's watching virtually. I hope she's going to watch. She's watching. We'll see. It tells me in the little corner there how many people are watching. And right now it says 0. So, wow. I think I got to counter absent on that, you know? Well.
Was she there in the beginning?
No, I was just talking to the air, you know? I'm teasing you, Anna. You can watch this later. I'll send you the link to it. But in the future, if you'd log on. But I just sent her the link to it just before class began. So these cameras are kind of weird. Okay. So Anna, if you'll, hope you could hear okay. And if you couldn't hear okay, then I'll see what I can do about getting a better microphone. Do you think I can get one of those microphones like preachers wear that has like the headset and a little mic coming across wireless? I'll talk to the school about that. I'll work on it. So Anna, I'll send you a link to this so you can watch it on your own time. It'll be on YouTube saved, so you can watch it anytime. Okay? I'm going to end it now. Send me an email if you have any questions.